Oh my. Hello DBZ fan, Joey here. We are going to look at Yamcha preview. Personally, one of my favorite MPs that were going to be released with this set. Level 1, sleeping, power, energy attack, free energy attack, by the way. Lower your opponent's anger 1, 2 life cards of damage, hit, stop the next physical attack performed against you. One bad thing about him is he's an A for all of his bracket stages. But I mean, it's Yamcha, so I mean, not a big deal. The good thing is the free energy attack, so you don't have to worry about if you have no stages, you can't perform your own attack. It has an anti-aggro, so it has anti-MPV and anti-beats, because the hit effect stops the next physical attack performed against you this combat. So a recurring theme with all of his abilities is free energy cost, anti-aggro. Same with his name cards. His name cards are very anti-aggro. And he's kind of a first of his kind of energy beats, where we really haven't had a character that was heavy energy beats. Probably the closest one to it is probably Krillin, because of his elevated PUR and just the D-Disc in general just being a really strong energy attack. Level 2 on the move, he gets all the way up to 100,000 for his power stages at top. PR 3, your attacks cost 1 less stage to a minimum of 0. And he also has a power effect used when entering combat. Lower your opponent's anger 1. You may banish the top 2 cards of your discard pile to search your discard pile for a style energy attack and place it into your hand. So not only does it let you perform more attacks for energies, so it makes any 2-stage costing energy attack 1, any 1-stage free, and it also lets you have a card advantage on you, on your opponent, by grabbing an energy attack. So it promotes a beatdown style with his level 2. Yamcha level 3 is Surprise. He gets up to 200,000 on his highest tier of his power stages. He has a parenthesis text at the beginning of his of it, which says, when advanced to this level you may draw a card. So in combat it'd be really nice to advance from level 2 to level 3, because it lets you draw a card, and from your previous one you already got to draw a card because of its power. So you might have a 2-card advantage if you can level really quickly off of from 2 to 3. Your energy attacks cost 1 less stage to perform to a minimum of 0, and we see a little bit of a Turtles effect on this one, and cannot have their damage prevented. So not only are energy attacks going to cost basically almost nothing for you, on level 3 there are going to be no damage prevented. So you're going to be able to burn through someone's life deck pretty quickly on this. And then on top of it, for his last part of it, he has a power that lets you draw a card, lower your opponent's anger 2. So when in combat, if you use the entering effect of level 2, draw a card, get into an energy attack, advance to level 2, then you draw a card, then you can also use his power to draw you a 3rd card. So card advantage in Yamcha is a little bit ridiculous, and it's going to be really bad if all of those attacks you draw into are all energy attacks. Goodbye someone's life deck. That's all I gotta say. And then last is Yamcha level 4, which he hits at 250,000 at his top PR bracket. I mean his power stage bracket. His PR is level 5. He does not have any elevated PR on any of his levels. He has a constant. Your attacks cost minus 3 stages to a minimum of 0. And deal plus 3 life cards of damage. Oh my, that is ridiculous. Basically almost any energy attack you perform, basically in orange, black, or blue that you're going to consistently run, basically is going to cost you nothing. There are a few energy attacks that cost 4, so even still then that brings a 4 energy cost down to a 1 energy cost. So it's a little bit ridiculous, and a lot of those 4 energy costs do like 6 life cards. Sometimes they do 5, but they have really good effects with them. So that's going to make them do 9 to 8 stages. I mean life cards. The energy attack, he has another energy attack on his level 4, which is 4 life cards. So with his power, that makes it a free 7 life cards without any other modifiers. Let me just begin to say, that's out without any modifiers. And most of the time, you're probably going to be playing him in orange, black. Blue is a possibility of him, but I think mostly people are going to be playing him in orange or black because of the modifiers that those two styles have. Now to his name cards. Yamcha's Expert Assistance. It's a setup. It has a parenthesis text at the beginning of it stating if your MP's power stage is at 0, you can play this card from your hand as an action. So if you're getting beat down, you can play this card even if you draw into it. So not only is it not a dead card, I mean it can still be a dead card into your hand if you don't get beat down against like a physical deck. So it can still be a dead card, but it's at least nice it has that part into it. And then the power of it lets you draw a card. Your opponent passes for his next 2 actions this combat. The big highlight on that card is pass for the last 2 actions. So basically you can fundamentally end combat right then and there after playing it if you need to. If you just draw into such a bad hand, you can end combat with this because it's passing, it's not skipping actions. Or if nothing else, you can draw a card. Maybe the card that you draw will make you a better hand for the combat. So you could possibly play this card. They're going to pass because of the card effect. Then you can at least get one more attack off. They'll pass, and then you could theoretically pass it and combat if your hand isn't suitable for combat. Or you could just get possibly 2 free rounds of attacks off. Either one, depending on how good your hand is for the combat. And Yamcha's last name card is Yamcha's Rescue, which absolutely is a ridiculous card. It's a physical combat that has an endurance of 1. It has a parenthesis text at the beginning stating if this card is banished for endurance, you may end combat at the beginning of your next action. So it's a combat ender. As long also with his other name card, you can also end combat. Now if you play him in black, you got power up as well. You also have blinding energy move that also ends combat as well. It's also an omni block. Stop a physical or energy attack, then it shuffles into your life deck. So not only is it an omni block, it can't be sphered because it is a physical combat, and it shuffles back in so you can use it possibly again and draw into it to stop another onslaught of attack. Okay, for the last bit of the video we're going to talk about where does Yamcha fit into styles and stuff. Obviously most people are probably thinking looking at Yamcha is probably going to say, oh, you're going to play him in orange because the old mastery and all the modifiers that orange has and all the drills that also modify as well. I mean, it is going to be probably one of the more prevalent types that Yamcha is probably going to be played in, just because orange also has a lot of low cost energy attacks, so they're going to be free, so you don't have to worry about being beat down by physical decks and not be able to perform attacks. And then also some of the better attacks that orange has, which only cost 2 stages, are only going to be 1 stage, so they're going to be a lot easier to perform against physical decks. Another style that I think could be a good contender for Yamcha to play in is Old Black, because the modifier from the mastery itself, and then you also got chopping as well. That gives you a double bonus basically on what the effect of the mastery does. Also, Black has some pretty good energy attacks as well. They also have a lot of controlling cards, so I mean, with the ability to basically end combats with either of his name cards, Black Power Up, you can really kind of pick and choose what combats are suitable for you. They also have like scouting maneuver and stuff like that. So you can really shut down, if you know what deck you're playing against, you can shut them down with scouting maneuver or searching technique as well. So you can really kind of pick apart their deck with black and then really beat them down on really good draws that you get. Another style that I think that could be somewhat played, but I'm not sure how well it is, the new blue card that they released, the physical that makes your next attack cost 0 power stages, can be an easy one that let you combo. So you can use the new blue card that makes you pay 0 power stages for your next attack into blue rejection. Then blue rejection also makes you not pay any power stages for your next attack as well. Then you can also perform another attack, so you can perform up to 3 attacks possibly using no stages. Blue also has a lot of really good energy attacks as well. The one problem with running in blue is you're probably not going to get much higher than level 2. You'll probably maybe see 3 every now and then, but I really don't think you're going to be getting off of level 2 very often, because blue doesn't have a lot of anger. Where I think that's one thing that orange and black have. Black has a lot of anger, orange has dominance, and they have an okay amount of anger now. I will give a shout out to Steve, one buddy, a DBZ friend of ours, brought the awesome idea of running tag team with Yamcha. At first I didn't think it worked, but the way the wording is on Goku and Birder and stuff, it looks like his minus cost stages would also work for allies. So if you searching taming or anything to search out allies in blue, you can fundamentally play like Tien, Chaozu, and stuff like that, and basically be able to use their attack right away because of his minus stages. Is also going to benefit them. And then also if you're on level 4 with him, he is also going to get the basically buff where all of their energy attacks are free and do +3 life cards. Also another thing is if you run Turtle Ally with Tag Team Yamcha, he draws a card, and you already have 2 abilities that draw cards, and he has a name card that draws him a card. So card advantages could be very easily done with Yamcha. Also, Tien also lets you, if his energy attack hits from his ally, he also draws a card. So card advantage with tag team could be a big huge thing as well. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe, and until next time.